Hello, CD Bestie. Aku Linying, Charlie Lim, and Katz.
You can check out our interview with CreativeDisc.com.
The #1 music website in Indonesia.
Hello, CD Bestie. Welcome back to CreativeDisc exclusive interview with me, Luthfi. And right now we have a special guest, not just one, two, but three. They are coming from Singapore via Melbourne too. And they have already collaborated with each other. And right now they collaborated together with their new song called Definitely. This is my guest today. This is Charlie Lim and Katz. Woo! How are you guys doing? Each of you.
Great.
We're good. Thanks for having us. Your show.
Yeah. So, okay, what kind of activity that you are doing recently right now? Three of you guys, each of you. Sorry.
Activity?
Yes, the activity, each of you, the activity that you are doing recently.
I'm eating a passion fruit.
Oh,
Recently, as of 5 minutes.
That's very recent, yeah.
It is.
I just sprained my ankle recently.
oh no, why?
Yeah, so I got to experience like being in a wheelchair, which was quite amazing. Like being able to skip all the queues and getting wheeled to the airplane. I felt really
Oh God.
but at the same time, like, wow, this is what it feels like to be in first class, I guess. That's what I've been up.
Okay, get well soon.
I've been planning my trip. I'm going to Singapore in a week and a half to see the Grand Prix and hopefully some.
Wait, who's your team?
Ooh, I don't know. They're all like very. I was gonna say they're all very unlikable. There's a lot of.
And yet.
And yet I'm addicted.
Got you going to.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just planning my trip and where I'm going to go to eat and all this fun stuff.
To go to the F1 Singapore, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, this is one of the trickiest question, I guess. So let's start with first thing first. What's so unique about Charlie Lim music, but through the Linying and Katz perspective?
Oh, you know what? I think Charlie is such a thinker and a deep feeler, and he's so sensitive. I mean, all of us are, but you know, Charlie is extra in tune with his well of emotions, and I think that really comes through in his music. I feel like you're the you're like the broody boy in high school. It's like always with his head down and tortured with feelings. Yeah, that's what I think is very unique about Charlie's music. That's why I love it.
Okay, Katz one.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with all those things, but I think also Charlie is an incredible musician too. So I mean, I come from a sort of more instrumental music background, so I really appreciate how technically proficient he is at so many instruments and also his work as a producer, particularly on this track. You know, it's a simple sounding track, but the amount of time Charlie spent arranging these really complex vocal stacks, as well as, you know, my instruments as well, and the spatial mixes that you know he was working on to get it sounding the way it did. It's deceptive how much work went into it. So he's
so
an incredible
underrated
producer.
The engineer part, I feel like people don't recognize that enough about Charlie. There was one point where like he was sending like 12 versions of the mixes, and I was like, you know, it was good like 20 versions ago to me. I can't tell the difference anymore, but you know, yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so next, what's so unique about Katz music from the perspective on Linying and Charlie Lim?
I'm gonna say
Yeah,
it's the piano playing, but from a I'm sure Katz does many things, but when someone plays the piano and plays it in such like a soft, sensitive way, he just has this magic touch, and I feel like I always say I feel camaraderie when I meet another piano player, and and I think it's one of those instruments that you can't really like peacock your way into sounding good. It's one of those instruments where the more restraint you show, the more you communicate. And that's something I think that you do really well. And I was exceptionally drawn to that in that Instagram reel, that little segment that we heard. It was so great. So
Thanks,
soft,
Lynn.
so sweet.
Yeah. Charlie, what's so unique about Kat's music?
He's got a very, very good ear for melody, and a good ear for voice leading and arranging in piano. Like we were talking about this earlier, how I mean, in another interview, we were saying how sometimes you can say this song has like 4 chords. It's really simple, but it's never as straightforward as that. It's how you voice those chords. And I think it does it so beautifully that it's such an underrated skill. I think that because of that, it inspired this song, for Lin to write the melody and lyric over. So without that piece of the puzzle, a lot of melodies wouldn't have been able to come forth. So same thing when he was working on a couple of tracks that I did with him, he just voiced these chords so beautifully. It's just so easy to kind of find to thread the melody around them. Yeah, I think that's a very underrated skill.
Ooh, okay. Okay, this question to Charlie and Katz. What's so unique about Linying music? Let's compliment each other.
I love this interview. This is the best.
I love it.
Well, I mean, this was my first time getting to work with Lin, and so, and also when Charlie and I, made this Instagram improvisation, we didn't do it with the view of turning it into a full song. So it was just a complete surprise and an incredibly pleasant surprise when Lin sent us back her vocals on top of it. And I mean, I was just so impressed at how quickly she could do that, but without sacrificing any quality.
Except for the audio quality.
Yeah, but we fixed. We re-record that later. Although I was saying earlier, some of Lin's original demo vocals made it into the final track because they had sort of that raw initial emotion in them that we didn't want to risk losing. So, it's an incredible top line, incredible harmonies. When you listen to them all separately, they I'm like, what is going on here? Like, just they're so complicated. And then in a good way. And then when you hear them together, it's just, it just flows so beautifully. So yeah, incredible top line writing, incredible speed and precision. That's what really got
Said
me.
no EDM DJ to me ever, which is why I appreciate you so much.
Oh, no.
I don't know if I always had a soft spot for Lin because I've kind of seen her start out as a singer-songwriter and kind of blossom into the artist that she is today, and I've become a huge fan of her. I think she's got like the third eye, and she has a really good antenna for looking out for very special melodies and obviously lyrics as well, when she puts it all together in a very special way that I don't think anybody can, so I think that's definitely unique. And I love her and I love Katz very much, and they're both releasing music soon as well, so I'm very excited to hear their new projects as well.
Oh my god, that's so sweet. You make Lini almost cry, I guess.
Yeah, I got in for a moment. But no one does what anyone does the same, and it's really nice that we were able to celebrate that today.
Okay, so let's talk more about your collaboration song called Definitely. Can you tell us more about this track?
We started it as an Instagram jam. I was jamming. I was in Melbourne visiting my family. I was hanging out with Adam, with Katz, and we're just messing around, and then just posted something on Instagram, and then Lynn heard it and she's like, "Oh, can I write on this?" I'm like, of course you can write on it." And then like a day or two later, she came back with a entire melody and lyrics, and it was perfect. So we took a while a couple of months to just kind of arrange it and produce it, sending files back and forth. None of us were really in the same place by the time the thing was finalized, but it was still very efficient, and I think everyone was happy with the final product. We just wanted to put something out that was spontaneous, didn't really care, what we needed to do besides the track itself. And I think it's resonated with quite a lot of people so far, and we're very grateful, that sometimes people just want to hear a nice song. That's it, yeah.
Okay, anything to add?
Yeah, my mom heard it and she said, "Oh, I want to fall asleep to this." And I was like, that's really upsetting to me because it's such a sad song that I want to pay attention to all the time. Do not fall asleep to this, please. But yeah, it is a special song to me as well. Like, I think, it hit me, like the instrumental really hit me at a time where where I was just, a mess, and being able to put these feelings onto some kind of form that I can always access forever. Like in years to come, I'll look back and listen to the song and be like, oh, this captured the way I felt back then. And it's just such a privilege. Thank you guys for jamming and making that. And now it's like a little time capsule that I can always look back on and feel comforted by.
Oh my good Lord. Katz, anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, I think it only exists because of the way it came about. Like if Charlie and I, had actually sat down and said, let's write a song and then let's send it to Lynn or anyone, it probably wouldn't have, it just might not have worked out. So I think it was just because because of how organically it started and then progressed, that is the reason it got to where it got to, and sort of retained so much of its initial emotive language.
Ooh, okay. So this is kind of like can be a long interview, but I must trim it down. So maybe this is the last question for me in this interview. What's the best memory of this collaboration when you collaborate? What's the best memory of each of you when you collaborate each other? What's the best thing about this collaboration?
I mean, for me, and it's the same with the other collaborations I've done with Charlie and any vocalist I've worked with, because I don't sing, so I'm always sort of relying on vocalists to really uplift my instrumentals. So the biggest sort of surprise and treat was just actually getting that vocal back from Lynn in the first place. And it doesn't always work out like that, where you get something back that's just it's so complete, and all we had to do was record the final version. Usually there's quite a lot more back and forth, and things don't necessarily work, or you have to change things, but this was just it was like full-fledged and perfect. So thanks, Lynn. That was my favorite bit.
It's really nice. My favorite bit was typing how to rip audio from Instagram reel free download into Google. I don't even know which website I used. Probably accidentally downloaded a virus, but
just like LimeWire era, I think.
Yeah, I think. But sometimes this is something that continues to awe me. The fact that we do things in such a, it's just not what people expect when you ask them how you make a song. People think we're in like fancy studios all the time and like recording with nice mics. But yeah, I think a lot of the time it's just Googling free MP3 to WAV converter, dragging it into yeah, a really probably pirated or maybe we shouldn't air this. But
It's right.
but yeah, you know, and then now it's a song on Spotify. It's kind of nuts that that's what goes into something that feels so legitimate. It's actually a lot of in the moment decisions. That's what I love about it.
And I think like that's why the track it's so authentic, I think.
I agree.
Thank you. Charlie, what's the best things about this collaboration?
I think like for me, it was just learning to let go to some degree, like just kind of hearing everything for as it is and go like, actually, I don't need to add much to it. You know, it's just protecting what the original spirit of the song was and using around it. I had a lot of fun, like for the first time, not having to, because I usually sing quite high with falsetto.
Yeah.
But this time, like, oh, why don't I go lower? Like, I go da, 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 like really like, down an octave. And I, stacked it with Lynn's vocals, and she has this very ethereal harmonies on top. I was like, oh, this is actually like, it's nice to play this supporting role, and it's this really cool, blurry choir. A very nice moment for me. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. Just kind of tweaking the levels, mixing the thing. Took me a while to get it right, but I think it was a really good exercise, I guess, for lack of a better word, to just kind of find that balance between spontaneity, but trying to perfect all these little authentic moments, even preserve, like even down to like the guitar solo in it. I was like, I had to reference our old Instagram jam and find the parts that I kind of like this, I kind of like that. Let me see if I can do, a take, and then end up doing like 50 takes. And I realized like, oh crap, the simplest version is the best. Yeah. So it always goes back to that. You try a million things, you climb all the mountains just to realize you didn't really need to. And yeah.
Okay. So that's a wrap of this interview. Thank you very much, Charlie Lim, Katz, and Linying. Go check out their new single called Definitely. You should check their single. It's already out there. And don't forget to follow our all over their social media at Charlie Lim, Katz, and Linying too. I'm Luthfi from CreativeDisc.com signing off. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel too in CreativeDisc and check out our website in CreativeDisc.com. Linying, Charlie Lim, and Katz, thank you very much for having me in here. It's such an honor to be here. See ya.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.